What if I told you that the greatest threat to your future is not artificial intelligence, but artificial living? What if the real danger is not that machines are getting smarter, but that people are refusing to get deeper? We are living in a time where algorithms write, design, calculate, predict, and automate. Jobs are shifting. Industries are transforming. The speed of change is relentless, and many are standing on the sidelines, afraid of being replaced. But here is the truth. You were never designed to compete with machines. You were designed to lead them. This message is not about fearing AI. It is about mastering what AI can never become. Because while technology may dominate tasks, it will never dominate purpose. It may process information, but it will never possess identity. And the individuals who understand this will not just survive the future, they will shape it. Vision is the rarest and most powerful asset a human being can possess. Data can inform you, but vision transforms you. Information can describe reality, but vision redefines it. Artificial intelligence can scan billions of patterns in seconds, yet it cannot step outside of what already exists. It is confined to history, limited to input, restricted to evidence. Vision, however, is the ability to conceive what has never been recorded. It is the courage to imagine a future that cannot yet be proven. Every great advancement in civilization began as a picture in the mind of someone who refused to accept present limitations. Vision is not fantasy, it is foresight with conviction. It allows you to stand in today while seeing tomorrow clearly. It empowers you to endure temporary setbacks because you are anchored to a long-term destination. Machines can optimize a path, but they cannot choose a destination. They can improve a system, but they cannot define a purpose. Only a human being with clarity of vision can do that. When you possess vision, you stop reacting to trends and start creating them. You stop following change and start initiating it. Vision gives direction to your skills, meaning to your effort, and structure to your ambition. Without vision, talent becomes scattered. Without vision, opportunity becomes overwhelming. Without vision, success becomes accidental. But when your vision is clear, your decisions become intentional and your actions become aligned. Vision requires faith in your own capacity to shape reality. It demands that you see possibility where others see obstacles. It calls you to look beyond statistics, beyond public opinion, beyond current resources. A visionary does not wait for perfect conditions. A visionary creates conditions. Technology can simulate intelligence, but it cannot experience belief. It cannot feel the fire of conviction that pushes a person to pursue what has never been attempted. If you want to remain valuable in an age of automation, cultivate your ability to see differently. Train your mind to think beyond the obvious. Ask questions that challenge assumptions. Study problems, not just to understand them, but to redesign them. When you develop vision, you become the architect of environments instead of a product of them. And architects are never replaced by the tools they use. Character is the foundation that sustains vision. You can have brilliance without integrity, but it will eventually collapse. You can have skill without honesty, but it will ultimately erode trust. Artificial intelligence can execute commands with precision, but it has no conscience. It does not choose between right and wrong. It simply follows programming. Character, however, is the internal compass that guides your choices when no one is watching. Character is consistency. It is alignment between what you say and what you do. It is reliability in a world of uncertainty. In a marketplace filled with rapid innovation, trust becomes the rarest commodity. People may admire intelligence, but they commit to integrity. Organizations may hire for competence, but they promote for character. Communities may celebrate talent, but they are sustained by trustworthiness. When your character is strong, your influence expands. People feel safe around you. They know your word carries weight. They recognize that your decisions are not driven by impulse, but by principle. Character produces stability in chaotic environments. It creates confidence in leadership. It builds reputations that cannot be manufactured by marketing or enhanced by technology. In an era where information spreads instantly and reputations can be built or destroyed overnight, character is protection. It guards your credibility. It sustains your relationships. It preserves your legacy. Skills may open doors, but character keeps them open. Intelligence may attract attention, but integrity commands respect. Developing character requires discipline. It requires self-awareness and humility. It demands that you confront your weaknesses and refine your motives. It challenges you to choose what is right over what is easy. While machines evolve through upgrades, humans evolve through decisions. Every ethical choice strengthens your foundation. Every act of honesty reinforces your value. The future will belong to those who combine clear vision with unwavering character. Vision determines where you are going, and character determines how you get there. Without vision, you wander. Without character, you collapse. When both are cultivated intentionally, your relevance is not threatened by technology because your value is rooted in qualities no system can replicate. Emotional intelligence is the mastery of the human atmosphere. It is the awareness that every room you enter carries unseen currents, unspoken fears, hidden expectations, silent frustrations, quiet hopes. Artificial intelligence can analyze tone, measure sentiment, and categorize emotional language, but it does not feel the weight of disappointment or the warmth of encouragement. It does not experience rejection, nor does it celebrate redemption. It calculates emotion, it does not live it. To be emotionally intelligent is to understand first yourself. It is recognizing your triggers, your insecurities, your strengths, and your blind spots. When you understand your internal world, you stop reacting impulsively and start responding intentionally. You become steady under pressure. You learn how to pause before speaking, how to listen beyond words, how to discern what someone means even when they struggle to articulate it. In a world increasingly driven by automation, relationships become the ultimate differentiator. Technology may handle transactions, but humans build trust. Organizations may rely on systems, but they grow through collaboration. Emotional intelligence allows you to navigate conflict without destroying connection. It gives you the sensitivity to correct without humiliating, to lead without dominating, to influence without manipulating. People do not remember every statistic you share, but they remember how you made them feel. They remember whether they felt valued, heard, respected. Emotional intelligence turns ordinary interactions into meaningful engagements. It transforms leadership from authority into service. It shifts communication from information exchange to understanding exchange. When you cultivate empathy, you expand your capacity to lead diverse minds and personalities. You begin to recognize that behind every performance issue may be a personal struggle. Behind every resistance may be fear. Behind every silence may be insecurity. Emotional intelligence does not excuse poor behavior, but it seeks to understand before it judges. It balances accountability with compassion. In moments of crisis, people look for stability, not sophistication. They look for someone who can read the emotional climate and respond appropriately. A machine may provide accurate instructions, but it cannot comfort a grieving heart or calm a fearful team. Emotional intelligence gives you the ability to bring clarity without cruelty and strength without harshness. It allows you to create environments where people feel safe to contribute, innovate, and grow. Purpose-driven creativity is the expression of identity through imagination. Artificial intelligence can generate variations of existing ideas, combining patterns and producing impressive outputs, but it does not possess personal history. It does not carry scars from failure, lessons from struggle, or insights from lived experience. True creativity is not merely rearranging information. It is releasing perspective, shaped by a unique journey. Every human being has a lens through which they see the world. That lens is formed by culture, challenges, victories, and values. When creativity is connected to purpose, it moves beyond entertainment and becomes transformation. It stops being about novelty and starts being about necessity. It asks not only what can be created, but why it should exist. Purpose-driven creativity identifies problems that others overlook because it is rooted in empathy and conviction. It challenges assumptions and questions limitations. It refuses to accept that current solutions are permanent solutions. Innovation emerges when imagination is guided by meaning. Without purpose, Creativity becomes scattered experimentation. With purpose, it becomes focused impact. The most influential ideas in history were born from individuals who saw a gap between what is and what ought to be. They allowed their dissatisfaction to fuel invention. They permitted their curiosity to confront tradition. They dared to believe that their perspective mattered. Machines can assist in refining ideas, but they do not originate conviction. They do not wake up with a burden to solve a specific injustice or to elevate a forgotten community. When you embrace purpose-driven creativity, you stop competing on volume and start competing on value. You measure success not only by output, but by outcome. You channel your imagination into solutions that serve humanity. You recognize that originality flows from authenticity. The more aligned you are with your identity, the more distinctive your contributions become. Creativity anchored in purpose ensures that your ideas are not easily replicated because they are inseparable from who you are. Leadership is the art of awakening greatness in others. It is not about position, title, or control. It is about influence rooted in responsibility. Artificial intelligence can coordinate schedules, optimize logistics, and manage data streams with flawless precision, but it cannot ignite belief in the human spirit. It cannot look into the eyes of a discouraged individual and call out potential that has been buried under fear and doubt. True leadership begins with courage. Courage to step forward when others hesitate. Courage to make decisions when outcomes are uncertain. Courage to accept accountability when mistakes are made. In moments of rapid change and technological disruption, people do not crave more complexity. They crave clarity. They seek direction. They look for someone who can interpret chaos and translate it into a path forward. Leadership requires vision, but it also requires presence. It demands that you stand firm when pressure rises. It calls you to remain calm when emotions intensify. A leader absorbs anxiety and redistributes confidence. This cannot be automated. Inspiration does not come from code. It comes from conviction. When a leader speaks with authenticity and passion, something intangible is transferred. Energy shifts, doubt weakens, momentum builds. Influence is built on trust, and trust is built on consistency. When people observe that your actions align with your words, they begin to rely on your guidance. Leadership is not about commanding compliance. It is about cultivating commitment. Compliance is temporary. Commitment is enduring. Technology can enforce systems, but only a leader can cultivate loyalty. A courageous leader also empowers others. Instead of hoarding authority, they distribute responsibility. They recognize that leadership is multiplied when others are developed. They see potential in individuals before those individuals see it in themselves. They challenge mediocrity, not with condemnation, but with expectation. In doing so, they create cultures where growth becomes normal and excellence becomes attainable. In times of uncertainty, leadership becomes even more valuable. When industries shift and skills become outdated, people search for stability. They want someone who can articulate not only what is changing, but why it matters and how to adapt. Leadership bridges the gap between disruption and opportunity. It transforms fear into focus and confusion into coordinated action. Self-development discipline is the engine that sustains leadership and relevance. Talent may open the door, but discipline keeps you advancing. Artificial intelligence improves through upgrades installed from the outside. Human beings improve through intentional habits cultivated from within. Growth does not happen accidentally. It requires commitment to refinement. Self-development begins with self-awareness. You must recognize your strengths so you can maximize them and acknowledge your weaknesses so you can address them. Discipline demands that you evaluate your performance honestly. It challenges you to replace excuses with effort. It invites you to pursue mastery rather than mediocrity. In a world where knowledge is instantly accessible, the advantage no longer belongs to those who merely possess information. It belongs to those who apply it consistently. Discipline transforms knowledge into skill and skill into excellence. It is waking up early when motivation is low. It is practicing when applause is absent. It is studying when others are distracted. Continuous growth ensures that your value does not expire. Industries evolve, tools advance, markets fluctuate. Without disciplined development, you become outdated. With disciplined development, you remain adaptable. You learn new competencies. You refine existing abilities. You expand your capacity to contribute. Self-development also strengthens resilience. When setbacks occur, disciplined individuals do not collapse. They recalibrate. They view failure as feedback. They treat obstacles as training grounds. Discipline fortifies the mind, sharpens focus, and builds endurance. It transforms potential into performance through repeated, intentional action. Leadership without discipline becomes unstable. Discipline without leadership becomes isolated. When both operate together, you become a force of steady influence and continual progress, capable of navigating change without losing direction and evolving without losing identity. We have explored the 5 dimensions that secure your value in any era. Vision that sees beyond data. Character that builds unshakable trust. Emotional intelligence that understands the human heart. Creativity rooted in purpose. Courageous leadership that inspires belief. And disciplined self-development that guarantees continuous growth. Machines can optimize processes, but they cannot define destiny. They cannot dream, they cannot choose integrity, they cannot feel compassion, they cannot awaken greatness in others, they cannot commit to personal transformation. Your value does not decrease because technology advances. Your value decreases only when you neglect your humanity. The future will not belong to those who race against machines. It will belong to those who refine what makes them irreplaceably human. When vision directs you, character stabilizes you, empathy connects you, creativity distinguishes you, leadership elevates you, and discipline strengthens you, you become a force that no algorithm can duplicate. Do not measure your worth by what technology can do. Measure it by what only you can become.